Good morning, next day here. So did some research yesterday on these bushings for all these shanks here, and Dad actually found the owner's manual. He has one, but he couldn't find it. But we found the part online that tells you about slop on these. And so, but anyways, there's this metal bushing, and then I think I showed you there's that split bushing inside of there from John Deere, about $12. And that little thin split ring, $12. Sheesh. So times 50 or so, 48. It's expensive on something I don't use a ton. But I'm gonna check. So I found that I can get them cheaper. I bought these sweeps and brackets from Shoop for cheaper. That Shoop also has both those bushings. I found another place that has the split bushing for a lot cheaper, for like $1 cheaper than Shoop. But I don't know if it's legit or not. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm gonna check that. We found in that owner's manual the specs on how much slop is okay. And so I'm gonna try to do that here. I just gotta figure out a way to measure it good versus a stable point. So it said a new one should have 0 to 3/4 inch of movement side to side. And so I think from the point is what I'll try to measure. The max slop that it allows is 1.5 to 2 inches total. So I gotta figure out a 0 point and measure how much movement that is, which that doesn't look like too much. It seems like it's more up here at the top, but actually at the sweep there's not as much. So maybe there's not going to be as much slop in these as I had initially thought, which would be okay. I mean, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? But down here at the point, it doesn't move in as much. So I'm gonna try to find a way to measure that. I've checked a couple. So hooking it on the point of the sweep next to it, get to that where it's an easy mark. So that's 32 inches. Then I push it both ways, so if I can hold it. Okay, 32. That goes a good 1/2 inch that way. About 1/2 inch that way. So that's, while that seems like a lot, doesn't that seem like a lot? At the point, it's just 1 inch, which the book said 3/4 of an inch. 0 to 3/4 was normal for brand new. So half or a little over. Half. 1 inch. Well within the 1.5 to 2 inch tolerance. So these may be better than I expect. Well, I checked not all of them, but most of them, especially the ones that were the worst, and nothing's over like 1 inch. Right around 1 inch is the worst slop I have. So I guess that's good. It's by the book. I'm going to confirm that to make sure, but you know, if you look, I've got oversized sweeps on here. So I should have some pretty good overlap. If you can see, like, see these in line. So this sweep here and the one closest to it back there, how much that overlaps, like half a sweep. Maybe not quite as much on that back one. But I've got some good overlap, so even if there's 1 inch, well, that's still, it's not 1 inch one way, it's like half, maybe 3/4 and 1/4, or 1/2 and 1/2. So even if they both moved, even if the ones closest to it both moved their maximum distance away, 3/4 of an inch would be 1.5 inches total. There still is at least an 1.5 inch overlap on all these sweeps, so I think I'm good. So I'm going to, I aired up the tires. I need to grease those hubs, but I'm going to pull the tractor out so that I can level the toolbar at the 3-point, and then I'm probably gonna set it on the ground now, so then after that, so that I can lower that middle shank and get that shank plumb. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grease that first, and then I'll show you the leveling. So now, trying to level it across that way, and I maybe didn't go far enough down or up. I try to use the rim of the tire and use the gap either between that top mast or that bottom mast, even better. So or the axles. So something that's parallel on the tractor to make it parallel with the center section. That's the first stop. And then once I get in the field, I go from the side and I look at that pitch. So I need to, I don't have a good vantage point. I either need to go up or down. I'm thinking I'm gonna go back up some and try to see if I can point to it on the camera. Not the top bar, but that bar right in there as my parallel. Okay, this is all the way up. It's gonna be hard to show you, but so I just raise and lower my vantage point to where I'm looking straight at the top of the bar to the very top of the yellow rim. And so when that rim disappears, that hopefully will tell me where I need to be. All right, got to level the other way. That actually looks really good for the first right out of the box. Maybe kicked back. I don't know. That may be perfect. Sweeps are on the ground, except for this one. I wonder what that's about. Wow, that nose is up off the ground, I'm not sure. But they're all pretty well flat on the ground, which is a good sign. But may need to bring it forward just a hair. Well, here's some deja vu all over again. seen this scene before, but this one is going to be, oh, I shouldn't even say it. How about it just, it's going to be easier. So from working on the 8260, we learned some things that we didn't do on this tractor, the 8130, and thought we should check on some things. So this is the drive, the fan drive. It's on the different side than the 8260, but it's actually fairly accessible. We didn't have to do much to get to it. And so this assembly that slides onto here, and then there's another sheave that goes over here, and the belt goes right in between them. Okay, so that's the drive. It drives the fan. We replaced all the stuff inside of this driven, where there's some wear sleeves and O-rings. We did that, but we didn't do this. And we did do that on both of the 8260. So we started, Dad and I were thinking, and mostly Dad's really good at helping me think through repairs. Like, well, let's take it off and see if there's some play. Well, there was some wobble. And so we're going to replace this. I'll go in there and show you. But they have all the parts locally. So Dad's going to go get those for me now. I just got that cleaned up. There's grease inside of here, and I blew it all out. One thing we're going to do, and do it on the 8260 also, is put a vent here. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but instead of a plug, we're going to put a vent, and then we'll pump in grease from the side port on what I'll go show you, and so that'll push out the old grease this way. I don't know if I've told you this or not, but on this tractor I've been getting this engine high fan speed alert. I changed the sensor, fan speed sensor, and that didn't fix it. I read online on a forum that could be too much grease in there. It's not letting that sheave move back and forth like it's supposed to, which what changes the speed of the fan. And so if it's kind of got a stuck spot, also we've got the new bearings in there, things that maybe it just needs some hours to break it in, and it'll work better. But also if there's air pressure, which I know there was because I released some and it helped, that vent should also do that as well. So we're going to go ahead and put that, they're $10 each, not a big deal. Go ahead and put that on each tractor, and easy to get to. But here's the piece that slid off. This is what goes to the tractor, and then the belt rides between the two sheaves here. So I got this all cleaned up. Listen, bearing sounds pretty good. So we replaced the bearings on the other one. Here's the old bearing. It just sounds rough. So that one needed to be replaced. This one seems to be okay. Got it all cleaned up. These wear sleeves that go inside of here, they're poly instead of metal like the other ones, so we're gonna get those. O-rings on both sides, those were in stock. Those vents were in stock. And then my rubber boot that I had to go to Abilene on the other one, this was in good shape, so I'm gonna be able to reuse this. Thank goodness. That was $70-something. I don't have to buy, and also don't have to wait for it to come in. So that was kind of the unknown. But since this is good, everything else is in stock. Dad's going to town, get that stuff. We're going to put it back together today, before lunch even. Can you imagine? So I'm thankful for that. I'm done with what I needed to do, so I'm going to go back to this field cultivator and work on that middle. Dang, I need a 12.75, but it's a square nut, so I'm gonna need a 3/4 12-point socket. I'll be back. I'm not clipping this, but I guessed right on the first time. This was an inch and a half. Lucky me. All right, so I think I need to loosen this clamp just a hair. I think that's my biggest problem on getting this shank straight, or at least I'm gonna do that. And then I'm also gonna need to get a 3/4 to loosen these, to drop this down, because you see that it's off the ground, everything else. So I'm gonna use the ground as my starting point. Okay, unfortunately impact sockets are 6-point mostly, so this one is not impact rated, but it should work. Maybe. Well, may have to just let these soak a little bit. I thought I'd let it drop down and that would help me, yeah, like that. Don't want to twist that off. Remember this? Remember we did this before? Patience is a virtue, I guess, is what I'll say here. Alright, shouldn't need to do much here. Mostly probably need to lower the bottom, or loosen this bottom one. That might be it. What do you think? That's pretty good, isn't it? I think that's where I want to be. I'm going to step back and look, but I'm going to think that's it. That is good. Alright, I didn't really know what that was going to do, or if that was going to straighten it. Easier than I expected. Loosen. Not going to loosen. Try that again later. Alright, I'm gonna go through and look at these and save some of these. Like this one's cracking on the side, so that one, the sweep's no good and the protector's no good, so I'm not gonna take it off. This one, same deal, not worth keeping, but like there's a couple sweeps in here. Not that I'm putting these kind of sweeps on anymore, but if I had a issue and I couldn't get a sweep, or I was out in the field and I needed like that sweep's almost brand new. Many of these protectors may not be good, but that sweep is, I replaced that not long ago. So that's a keeper. But like most of these, no bueno. It looks like most of these shank protectors are also no bueno. 2 sweeps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shank protectors are good. The rest of them scrap metal. Let's try it again. Booyah! That looks like right to me. Shouldn't have to move that down again, but it's good for now. Got it level, plumb, flat on the ground. This plow is ready. Dad got back from John Deere. They had everything they said they'd have, and we got it put back together. Seems to work like it should. So I'm thankful that a job actually worked easy and like it should, because it doesn't always do that. But this one was easy. Kind of unexpected, but glad to get the play out of that. Out of that fan drive. So I'm gonna move this tractor out of the way, put a little diesel in that tractor, move it out of the way. I think tomorrow I may go, possibly, maybe, we'll see. May go run that tractor a little bit and do some plowing. Well, that's all for today. It's about 2:30. I'm a little late for lunch, but I'm ready to go. I just need to grease the tractor front end a little bit. Oh, and the hitch. I just need to grease the tractor, all of it. But the plow's ready. Tractors are good to go from what we did today. I need to cultivate, unhook, get to the scraper, do some scraping. And then that's it until then. I need to start working on the strippers, I believe. That's what needs to happen next. Unless I need to defoliate cotton, which I'll do that. But that's the goal. So tomorrow, I believe, I'm gonna go try to plow. See how it goes. I was talking to Dad. Should I? It's dry, so there's not gonna be any weeds up. But I'll at least get it smoothed out. It's hot with the field cultivator. And so I have it ready to plant, and so when it does rain, I could plant right before rain, maybe. Or, that's the risk. What if it's like a half inch, which I heard a lot of guys that planted some wheat for grazing. The wheat sprouted and it died. I mean, we've heard that wheat can sprout twice, so better hope that it does. So I don't want that to happen either. So I either plow it dry, plant it before rain, and it comes up. I'm just talking about the new places. Everything else will be after cotton, so it won't matter. I just plant it right after. Or I wait for a little rain, I plow it, lose some moisture, but I do get a flush of weeds to come up and volunteer wheat. So kill it, get it clean, plant whatever moisture's left. I've done it both ways. So you tell me, what should I do? But until then, I'm going home for a late lunch. Wasn't expecting it to be this late, but I've got some house stuff I need to work on mowing. I've got a slow drain from our sewer. Got some issues. I need to go rent a sewer snake or something. I don't know. I already paid the plumber $500 to do that, and it's done it again. So ain't nobody got time for that. So I don't know. I'm gonna do something at home and see the family. So you keep watching. I appreciate your support. If you haven't liked or subscribed my video or videos, I would recommend you do that, and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that as well. So thanks for watching. If you're gonna farm it.